Are you developing the next generation Linux operating system and struggling to find qualified embedded Linux developers to help complete your project? Are you working with a few recruiting partners who just can't seem to find the world-class developers your team needs? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you the 4 core recruiting steps we use here at Agile Tech Recruiting Services that's going to help produce strong embedded Linux developers to your inbox within the next 7 days. First step, source and sift. Second step, connect and campaign. Third step, and my personal favorite, recruit and reel. And the fourth and final step, sell and seal. Now let's dive a little deeper, starting with the first step. Source and sift is the first and most critical step of the 4 core recruiting system. And depending on the technical requirements, this step can generate up to hundreds of possible matching resumes. And at this point is where Agile Recruiting differentiates ourselves from most recruiting agencies. You see, most recruiters will then send a generic bulk email to every single candidate on that list, followed by a relentless dialing campaign. This approach will get recruiters blocked and sent to spam. So here at Agile Recruiting, we've developed an extra step, which is the sift step. And in this step is where we go through each and every single one of those resumes and we identify and separate the apples from the oranges. This step, it takes time. It's not fun. It's not a part of the process that's attractive. But I found out over the 10 years of recruiting in this space that it is necessary and helps streamline the back end of the process. And you'll see why as we continue. But once we've narrowed down our list and we have our strong embedded Linux developers shortlisted, we are then ready for the next step in the process, which is connect and campaign. Connect and campaign is another crucial step in the 4 core recruiting system. Source and sifting does us no good unless we can connect with our audience. And why would an engineer open up an email from Agile Recruiting opposed to another competing recruiting agency? Well, there's a few things that we do differently here at Agile Recruiting. First off, we specialize in embedded Linux and kernel development. This takes the guesswork out of the equation for the engineer. So when they see our email or phone call, they immediately know who we are and what we're about. But our approach doesn't stop there. We also customize every single outreach. So whether that be email, phone call, text message, this gives our recruiters more credibility in the eyes of the engineers. And we also add one more unique approach. This is a short customized video that helps explain with more context the specific details of the position, overview of the company, a background on the industry in specific, and just overall hiring market trends. And this information is critical for engineers to determine whether or not a position is right for them. So here at Agile Recruiting, we give all of that information up front to our candidates, and the response is usually positive. Now, they might not all be looking and interested at that time, but still, they'll know about your position, your company, and what they'll do is possibly share it with others in case they're not interested themselves. And again, these steps take time. And again, most recruiting agencies aren't going to do this because of the time it takes. But here at Agile Recruiting, we know that it streamlines the overall hiring process and closing stages, which is most important for our clients. Once we've connected and earned the trust of our target candidates, it's time for the third step in the 4 core recruiting system, which is my personal favorite, recruit and reel. This is where Agile recruiters come in and bridge the gap between potential candidate and interested and qualified candidate. Now, at the end of the day, we are dealing with people, not products, and everyone is different and has different situations. So here at Agile Recruiting, we hop on the phone and we determine as much important information as we can that we think is going to help hiring managers decide whether or not to move forward with the candidate. We ask our candidates where they're at in their interview activity, their availability as far as when they're able to start. Some candidates will be, waiting for a bonus, and so they won't be able to start for 3 months. We determine residency status, whether or not they'll need an H-1B transfer or green card sponsorship. We determine whether or not they're okay to work on site or if they're looking for a completely, 100% remote position. We also dive deeper on the technical side as much as we possibly can. We determine how big their group was that they worked in, whether or not they were individual contributor, and what part of the project were they responsible for. We ask how big their team was, right? Usually smaller the better, which means you're going to be working on more of the project. We determine which languages they're most comfortable in, and any other technical background or experience that we think, again, is going to help our hiring managers make a decision. And again, this step is a vital step in the 4-core recruiting system, because at the end of the day, if we submit a candidate and they're not actively looking or interested, it does us no good. So we like to get as much information as we can up front and share that with our clients. And again, this information and extra step takes time, and it helps the overall hiring process. And our clients and even candidates appreciate this step, because at the end of the day, we don't want to waste anyone's time. Time is money. And here at Agile Recruiting, we spend more time up front with our candidates so that our clients have more time on the back end to develop and innovate and do what's most important. Now, once candidates have been submitted and interview evaluations have taken place, it's time for the fourth and final step: sell and seal. Now, if we've done our job correctly up to this point, this step should be the quickest and easiest step in the 4-core recruiting system. At this point, once interview evaluations have taken place, it is up to our clients to make a quick decision within 24 to 48 hours, 72 hours max. The senior level developers are usually being targeted by multiple companies and have multiple irons in the fire. So at this point, once an engineer has gone through the entire interview stage, they wholeheartedly appreciate a quick response and your best offer. And here at Agile Recruiting, we make sure to keep those salary expectations in line with your budget. And if they don't come within that budget, up front. That way, you have all the information and you're not blindsided once we get to this offer stage. So I've seen too many times hiring managers lose out on good candidates because, for one, they've taken too long to make a decision because they thought they can find somebody, a little better for a little cheaper. And in this market, that mind frame of thinking is gonna have you starting from scratch the entire interview process, and again, wasting your time and your team's time having to go through the interview evaluation stage again. So once we get to this stage and we've confirmed the technical abilities, it is up to our clients to put together the best offer possible and present that offer within 24 to 48 hours. Once that's done, candidates usually respond positively and sign right there on the dot. And here at Agile Recruiting, that's what our goal is a quick and easy closing stage, especially in this market where expectations may be over the top. Here at Agile Recruiting, we have an intimate approach that keeps everyone on the same page, so that there's no surprises at the end. Okay, well, now you know the 4-core recruiting steps that we use here at Agile Recruiting to ensure our clients get qualified embedded Linux developers to their inbox within 7 days. If you have any open embedded or kernel programming positions and want to work with a proven recruiting team that specializes in the embedded Linux space, then click the link in the email and schedule a 15-minute consultation with me to determine if Agile Recruiting is right for you. Thank you.